So this is such a large topic that I actually had to I'm redoing the video and I'm redoing the basically everything. I wrote down a few notes to help me keep my thoughts on track. But this is Greg Fanbook of Greg's Mind, and for this topic, since I covered it a lot in my pitfall story, but this is a huge topic which I have yet to cover on YouTube. So the topic is, what is the soul? And the soul is basically the conscious energy that is moving the body, that can move the body, and the soul can actually move everything based on perception and whatnot, and how well you understand certain things. Oh yeah, just remember one other thing. Yeah, I have some notes, so so let's see, where was I? Okay, so what is the soul? The soul, I only said that, is, so for those of you who are Christian, you would understand the soul as the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. These are actually categories to what they actually are. So the Father would be the higher self, the God self, and I think it could also be interchangeable with the Holy Ghost, which is more or less the same thing. But so the Holy Ghost is like just a form of your soul, like the I don't know. But the Son, you are the Son because as you grow and experience life, which I'm gonna get to later, you learn and expand who you are as a soul. But there is a particular way to do that none of us are actually taught how to grow our soul, and we are all souls. So why are we living as humans? Because we're souls. We are controlling the human body to interact with the world that we live in, that we are a part of, that we perceive through our own understanding. Our own understanding is based on what we know. So to go off of that, there is the illusion of choice, or the illusion of free will, whichever one you want to go with. But so like there's going to be a point A and a point B. So these are like big lessons or big events in your life that happen. But how you get from one of them to the next, that is still, like, it can be random, but it is still all like planned, and like it's so precisely planned that no matter what you do, you always get to the end result. So there really is no free will or choice. Like, doesn't matter what you do. So to go off of that, you take a path. There are also lessons to learn between these events, and because the soul only knows one, I guess, emotion, if you want to call it, and that is unconditional love. That is all the soul knows. And when you incarnate into the human form or any species, you take on emotions, and, well, not emotions, but you take on feelings, I guess. And these feelings are both good and bad, but the thing is, the soul only knows the experience. The soul doesn't know the feelings that go with it. If you, how do I explain? But the experience, again, could be good or bad, but the soul doesn't care about if it's good or bad. The soul cares about the experience and how it will grow from it. Because it's likely that this is, like, the soul will continue to experience the same thing over and over and over again to master that. So if you, like, have a surprise party, that's a happy thing. And it, so yeah, if you have a surprise party, that's happy. But if you're like beat, abused, raped, or any of these other like negative emotions, negative things, the soul only understands the experience. And that's how the soul grows. Because the soul grows by learning about itself. And it incarnates onto a planet or onto a plane and is trying to grow by learning what it would do if that happened or this happened. So everything that you experience is the soul trying to grow and learning how it's going to interact with different things. So the soul is trying to become the like best version of itself. And that is how we get to the Father. So the Father is the higher self, as I was explaining earlier. And so the higher self is who you are after you've mastered basically everything. And so and I've met my own higher self. He was speaking gibberish. But that is actually light language that he was speaking. So even though I couldn't understand it, my soul understood what it was saying. And that's all part of what the soul's journey is. The soul is trying to find its way back to the higher self, and like just find its way back to light. And light is information, so the more information it has, the more light it has. Sorry. So going off of that, we have dreams. So one thing that annoys me is that there are people that don't believe in the soul. And those people, I don't, like I know there are background characters, background people in life. And that actually ties into perception. Because we are constantly told there's like 7 billion people on Earth when that isn't the case. Because it's because of our perception that we think there are that many. And so the world, well not the world, but we need to then adjust ourselves because the world is a projection of ourselves. Like the world is projecting what we need to learn. And every now and then a soul comes in to interact with us and then it goes back to its own little thing. But there are not that many people on Earth. It's all about perception. Because we're told there are this many, we make up that many. Like, the, the whole perception issue is very annoying to me. Because, so with science is constantly saying this is that, this is that, that's all limiting. Because it's constantly making you understand that something is something, like water. Water we see as a fluid. It can be anything. I've done multiple videos about the perception, because how we understand the world is how it's going to be portrayed to us. So the more you can understand, the more, like, things change. So, like, one big thing that I think a lot of people are actually noticing is time. Well, we all notice time, but it it's been speeding up. If you aren't aware of that, time is speeding up. The clocks are speeding up, and everything is speeding up. But with time, like, we understand it as a linear thing from point A to B, but it's not. It's just a way to, like, show growth or something. I think I've gotten into a tangent. But where was I going? Jeez. Yeah, big tangent. But because of our issue with perception, everything we see is everything. Not everything we see. Everything we're taught is what we're gonna perceive everything as. So it's up to you to expand from that. And going off of that, we can also see that there are definitely categories of people who are of lesser consciousness. I wouldn't say they are any less, they are just young and they are learning the lessons. Like, I'm an old soul, so I've learned a lot of lessons. I've realized, like, I'm multidimensional and all these like big ideas that these younger souls, these people of lesser consciousness, they'll probably just worried about some fish in the freezer that might go bad in a few weeks or something. That's all they worry about. Not like consistently, but it's just that small of a thing that they don't think big ideas like where are we and so forth. But to go off of that, these lesser consciousness people also they also, when they are confronted with an issue, they usually attack the person that's confronting them instead of seeing that the issue is coming from them and they don't realize that. So we're going into the lessons now. So, the lessons of a soul is that, like, let's say someone is confronted, one of these lesser consciousness people, it just means the soul hasn't grown that big yet. They are confronted with like a drug addiction or something. Now, they are gonna confront the confronter with, like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you saying this is an addiction or something? They aren't gonna even realize it's an addiction. And the whole point of the lesson there is to understand you got an addiction and now you need to get over that. So the soul learns, like, how to get over it. And then if the soul somehow goes back into doing it, so this is the pattern, then the soul hasn't learned the lesson and will continue to repeat the lesson until it has learned the lesson fully. Now, it may be in one lifetime that it actually does learn the lesson and doesn't repeat it, but in the next lifetime, so, like, there is no death. You will come back either in this world or in a multi-dimensional world or somewhere else as the same person that you died as, and it's to continue your growth as a soul. The only thing that is different about being here on Earth, as far as I know, is you basically lose all memory of yourself outside of Earth. But I mean, even I am getting brief glimpses of what I was like outside of Earth. And like, so who you are as a soul greatly depends on like how you've grown through your lifetimes. So it's not, so like who I am is not just this lifetime, it is past lifetimes. And my personality is from past lifetimes. And so, and all of it has been to find, to like understand who I am more and more, and who I will ultimately become, is through the lessons that I take on. Hopefully you guys don't hear that. But each lesson is teaching you a lesson. It could be a good lesson, it could be a bad lesson, much like my, my big lesson was the jail stuff. It was one night. But that event caused basically who I was then to fall apart and get me to who I am now. To like, I woke up in 2018, like who, but I never knew I was asleep though. That's the thing. I never knew I was asleep until I woke up. It's very strange, but like you, so I think I covered lessons, but it doesn't matter. So any lesson you have, so any event that comes to you, whether it's a good event or a bad event, is a lesson for you to expand from. Do you keep getting into abusive relationships? Is that a pattern? And if it is, then wouldn't the obvious answer be getting out of the abusive relationship and stop trying to go into abusive relationships because they aren't helping you, they aren't good for you? Then again, we also have karma. And karma comes in to basically anything you do to someone else will happen to you. And in this case, the Bible is very literal about that. And it basically states an eye for an eye. And the perfect example I have for that, which is, it was so stupid. So when me and my brother were younger, we were wrestling or something, I don't know. But for whatever reason, I slammed his head against a, what was it? Organ we had. So I slammed his head against the organ and he chipped a tooth. Then a few, I don't even know what the door, like how long it was between when it happened, but he threw a Hot Wheels car, and these are metal, by the way, at me, and I chipped my tooth. So, karma. I did something to him, he did the exact same thing to me. It was a bit different, but the thing is, we both chipped each other's tooth by doing something stupid. And so, I mean, you can even see it right here, I think. I don't know. But yeah, so whatever you do is going to come back to you. It might not be in this lifetime, it might be in a different lifetime. But that goes without saying that you can also do something really good, and something really good will come back to you. It's the same principle. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever you do, good or bad, the same thing will come back to you at some point. In this lifetime, in another lifetime, Let's see, what else do we got? Let's go back to the perception thing, and this is all what a soul is. Like, you are learning lessons, you are trying to grow as a soul, trying to see the patterns and trying to expand who you are. So with the perception thing that I wanted to go back to, we also have, actually it's not even part of the soul. Do I need to bring that up? I don't know, there's so much that I want to talk about with the soul that I could easily find different things to include into it, but ultimately they aren't really a part of it. I've already went over the perception, so I will go on to the last part of it, which is the healing. So, the healing of the soul. So, traumatic event, you will abuse, raped, whatever. And by the way, I'm purposefully using like hot button topics because, well, I just find it fun to, I guess, annoy people. But the thing is, like, I'm not like, I'm bringing these things up to get the person to address it. It's not like I'm being, like, I mean, I can be mean about it, but majority of the time I am bringing up a term or word to get the person to address it. Now they're gonna see it as like being insulted or offended or whatever, because they aren't as high of consciousness level as I am. And again, I'm not like trying to tote how high my consciousness is. I'm just trying to get them to address their own issues so that they can overcome them. And I also understand that there has never been, well, I wouldn't say never, but like they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to address it. And I think so. So a very interesting term or job, I guess, that I heard of recently is a, well, I don't even know if there is a job for this yet. So I guess this is something I can do because I know about it. Is a soul psychologist. Psych yeah, a soul psychologist, because I have healed stuff of my own, and I can use that experience to help others. So one, so like the runaway video that I did, that was like I actually felt that energy like yanked from me, and then I didn't want to run away anymore. Uh, no, the recent one that actually happened was what was it? So I had a dream about bees. I don't like bees. I mean, I still don't like bees, but I had a dream about bees. And in that dream, my entire left side was covered in bees and was being stung. I woke up and, like, I could still feel it. So my entire side was covered in bees and I was being stung. Well, maybe like a month later, I had another dream. But I wasn't stung in that dream. I just found the pattern in that dream. And that was in where I used to live, in our yard, we had this red shed. And that was actually where I was first stung by a bee. Like, that was my first time. I didn't like it. But to go off of the, like, being covered in bees, that actually, I don't know if it's a pattern in my family, but my mom was actually stung by a crap ton of bees. So basically what happened was, like, that trauma carried over to me to release it, so that like my kids don't have to deal with it. But so like it was just plucked from me. Like I realized I realized the red shed. I'm like, because the red shed was in both dreams. The red shed was where I was covered in bees, and the red shed is where I went up and like, oh yeah, there are bees in here. I shouldn't bother with this. And so when I realized that it's connected to my mom, that some energy was yanked from me. And then when I realized, oh yeah, that's where I was also stuck for, energy was yanked from me. These are all the energies that, like, they cling to you if they are traumatic. And then to go off of that, so like, let's say you, in this lifetime, you had a painful experience. You are, like, the experience is that alone. But if you are like reliving it and constantly thinking about it, the experience is going to expand to make it more like fearful to you to try to deal with it. But to deal with it, you need to face it, understand it, like, and try to take a lesson from it. So if you are being abused, the lesson would be fighting back. And I know all too. So we're getting into more stories. All through high school. Well, no. Once in high school, and then twice in middle school. The same guy. Same guy. So he, well, it doesn't matter what he did. He was mean to me. And I think all 3 times were, he would, I think he just took my seat. But, like, I was sitting in school. And then I would react. And uh, by the way, you're not supposed to react. You're supposed to absorb. But I mean, you're gonna react anyway in some way or another. But so he took my seat at lunch in middle school, and I hit him in the head with the lunch tray I had. Not like flat down, but like on the side. So I hit him in the head, and then I walked off. I know I hit him in the head again in high school with a textbook because, again, he took my seat. And then I know I punched him in the face in a computer class, which that punch sounded like a clap. It was amazing. And like, so there is no heaven or hell. It's all about consciousness and what you're trying to learn and stuff. So you don't need to worry about being mean. Like, we're supposed to, like, not supposed to be mean, but you're supposed to act how you want to act. Unless you're like, I don't know, unless you do something like truly bad that is intentional, you aren't gonna, like, the rules of karma apply to those who are, well, they apply anyway, but more so to those who are aware of what is going on. Like, if you are aware, then your rules become a lot stricter. But if you aren't, there's a bit more leeway. But no matter what, you will still get a punishment by the cosmic judge, which is karma. So, where was I going with this? The whole healing thing. Jeez. I go off on a tangent and then I forget what I was talking about. But to go off of, like, if you are abused, you need to fight back. Like, if you are a weak person, you need to overcome that. That is what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to continually be weak, continue to be who you were. You're supposed to grow. So when you are confronted with an issue, you can get over it. So, like, you're supposed to absorb what is going on around you. You're supposed to absorb that you're in a bad situation and you need to get out of it. That is how you grow. And to go back to the higher self, the Father, you are always, like, you are never going to be given more than you can handle. That is always going to be the case. So, like, me, I would never be put into the middle of a war zone because, well, one, I probably already dealt with being in wars, so I've grown past that, and I don't know. The point is, you will never be given more than you can handle at any one time. So even if it was a painful situation, you will still be able to handle it. And how you handle dealing with that situation is, if it was like a mental or traumatic event, you, as you are now, need to, in a sense, simulate that in your mind and, like, figure out what was the lesson behind that. And then, once you understand the lesson, you need to let go of that event because it should no longer affect you. And it really does annoy me, people that, like, they had a traumatic event, they were abused or something, and they just identify themselves as the person that was abused. They fall into the victim thing, and they can never get out of it because I don't think they want to continue being the victim, but they don't know how to get out of it. And therapists don't really help much because all they do is they tell you to be okay with the situation. And that doesn't help because, like, the the like, I have personally experienced like, bad things, like, just taken from me, like, the energy, not like the bad thing taken from me, the energy of the event was taken from me. And the running away one is a great one because after that energy was taken from me, which falls back on my grandpa, I think. He was the one who experienced that, but that followed into my mom's life and then into my life, and then I was able to release it. And so I no longer want to run away. So, but these events can be taken from you instantly, and you will no longer, like, feel it or feel it because you let it go. It has sat with you long enough that, like, people will need to cope with it for a while. People will need to feel it for a while. But at the end of the day, it can be taken from you, and you will be fine. You will be over it, and you will be free from that experience, because that's all it is. The soul is experience that to see how it reacts and how it will grow from it. And then once the soul has grown from it, the experience can go away. It's only the ego that keeps it in, like, keeps it within you. And, like, I'm just tired of seeing everyone, like, pretending to be fine. The world is not fine right now. None of what we see right now is fine. All of it is people pretending that they are okay with the given situation of the world. And that's not the case. We should be fighting back. Yeah, this went off into a strange tangent, but the point is, we we can live however we want, whenever we want, and the more like conscious we are, the more like aware of, okay, if I do this, then this is gonna come back to me. So don't do that. So don't key someone's car because your car is gonna get keyed. Don't. That's how karma works. That's how life is. So just try to. Well, this is all about the soul. But yeah, we we are souls. People who are saying we don't have a soul, they are stupid. Well, that's what the ego wants to say. I know I shouldn't say that. They are just of lesser consciousness, which is again is kind of a downput. Like I've been battling with what to, like how to explain it, but we live in duality. We're gonna look at it like that. We're gonna look at it like they are lesser, but they are not. They are on the same journey. They are just in an earlier stage than we have been, than we are. So, what else? I don't think there is anything else. But yeah, so if you want help getting over a trauma, I am more than willing to help out. I do ask that you are completely open with me about everything. I am basically like a mirror, so if you are yelling and cursing at me back, I will do the same thing back to you. I do not care. But as long as you are completely open with me, I can help, like, just guide you and your life. Well, not your life. Your life is your own. You can decide what you want to do with what advice or information I give you. But it's all about expanding your consciousness, learning to understand more, which is why I made this video and why I feel that the soul psychologist is a very good term for what I actually do, because basically for the past 5 years, or longer even, I have been studying myself through my dreams, because dreams are like your soul. Dreams, and if you don't dream, I don't know what to tell you, but I can still use your life experience to kind of put you on the right track, I think. It's all new to me as well, so I don't know how much I can actually help, but that is what I do want to do. I want to help people, and if I can help people realize that they are an individual, not a follower, like the school system wants us to be, or like anything wants us to be, like we follow the rules, we follow the cops, we follow the government. We don't need to do any of that. If we realize we're individuals, and if we like get ourselves to the like where we are all like self-disciplining ourselves, then we don't need any form of structure or any form of like government or rules. We just like do our own thing because we know if we hurt someone, we are gonna get hurt back. So, but yeah, if you need any assistance, I'm more than willing to help out. I have my Discord channel, Discord server, Facebook. Definitely check out Pitfall, because everything I covered in this video, I also covered in that book. And then, if 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 this turns out to be a popular thing, like people want like my help in things, I might set up a Patreon, or a better one than the see what happened before is like basically I've been sprinkled different ideas here and there to like get me to this point, but because I'm in a rush and a lot because of where I'm at, I've been trying to rush through the process, and anytime I get something new, I would pick up on it and do it. And so that's where the previous Patreon was, because I thought, oh, this was a great idea. No, it's breadcrumbs to, I think, get to this point. So, this is the longest video I was thinking it might be because of how much I wanted to cover in it. Hopefully people find what a soul is comforting. They realize that's what they are. We are multidimensional beings. We can travel anywhere. We can do, we can fly. We can do all these special things, but that's all based on our perception and how much we understand. And yeah, so you want to try to understand things more, and doing a lot of like mathematical equations or looking into science, that's not where it's at. Like science and all that stuff is going to take years to get to even comprehending half of what I probably put in this video. Like proving half of what I put into this video, because they are limited to anything that is physical, and everything that I've shared is not physical. And I mean, they're just starting to realize that they need to, for science to expand, they have to start looking into the paranormal and non-physical phenomenons, much like Nikola Tesla has suggested. And but as long as they stay limited, they do not like think outside the box. They continue to say a pen is a pen. They are gonna take a long time to catch up. And what was the other thing? I could make a like thesis paper on this, and then like bring all my findings or whatever based on my own thing to compete with their science. If you don't understand that I'm mocking them, I am, because it's stupid. But like someone else can do a thesis paper on this video and share it with them to try to prove it, but I really don't care. I am not gonna write 20,000 words on what is a soul, because it's just asinine. And I'm not gonna degrade myself to doing such mundane of a task when I just explained it in a video. So, have a nice day, and hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out Pitfall, check out the Discord server, and good day, and goodbye.